Hello and welcome to Digits in Gaming. I'm Syntosis and this is another episode of Direwolf20's 1.19 modpack. Right. We were successful last time. Ish. Maybe. Kind of. Let's go back and review what I did. This is all set up. This is all working quite well. We've got with a skull. So if I turn that on, I can then chop people's heads off. If I go over to here, I can turn this on and then the withers will spawn. As you can see, they're dropping in on there, and then obviously the beheading stuff is going here. So if we have a look at skulls, there you go, 155, like spot on. This thing will kill the things to produce the essence, which will then go into the system to then produce the things to do that stuff. If I want to kill those guys, this one here is just covering the top where the bats are. But those guys will eventually just fall off. They will fall off. But a redstone signal apparently turns off the vector plates. So, yeah. Not ideal. But he eventually moves. If I do that, he will eventually get killed anyway. But yeah, so not really a massive issue, to be honest. I mean, if you have a look now, the vector plate will be active. Yeah, look, see? So a redstone thing... I might switch that around so that if there is no redstone... In fact, actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and turn the lights on first, though. There we go. Right, and then we're going to kill everything in the room. There we go. And then we're going to go and open the door. Ta-da! We're going to switch this around so that it's redstone with no redstone, run it. And then obviously flip the switch. Now the vector plate basically stays off, but everything is good. So yeah, I mean it works well. It does work well. We flick that switch. If we flick this one, you'll kill it and then fill up a bit more. So yeah, we're going to leave that off for the moment because I want heads and stuff. So, well, I've got enough for the wither. So we've got enough to do nether stars. However, something that we seriously, and you know, I've also created this little area. We'll get to this in a minute, but yeah, I've just created this little area. It's coming from an offshoot over there, so it's got 8 channels. 3 of them are taken up by this. But yeah, we've got a massive issue. We've got things in the system called mega. So if you have a look at the mega stuff, the mega item storage, I mean, look at how much that would store. But if I just want to do one, I'm missing 1296 skystone. Massive issue with the skystone stuff. If I have a look at, we've got 450 skystone from Ad Astra, right? But it's just not the right skystone. Yeah, it's not the right one. So I need this one. Applied Logistics skystone. This is Ad Astra skystone. I don't actually know whether we can... Well, yeah, as you can see, we can't do anything with it. Not really ideal. Can be used in crafting, but not everything. I know crafting table. Yeah, so the skystone stuff is just not feasible. We need that. Now, obviously, we've got to go find that, but yeah, I need to get some. So what I was thinking was we've got 2 things that we need to do today. Obviously, the dialing devices will be, you know, prevalent in a moment, but we need to get to a new world. So there, in RF tools or RF dimensions, there is a section that you can basically create dimensions. And you can use this thing here called a block absorber to absorb a certain type of block. Now, once you've got 256 of those, you can then make a dimlet. And a dimlet is basically a piece of a world. So if, so there, you absorb up to 256, and then it can be used to create dimlets of that block. So it means that whenever you modify the worlds, you can get that type of block in the world, right? And we could put that as the floor, for instance. Now, dimlets are... So I've got this thing here, sorry. So we're going to take the cardboard box off. Yeah, so no, we're going to take the cardboard box off. Not put it back on. we got this thing, right? So these are dimlets. So this is a biome dimlet, so it allows you to control what biomes are in a dimension. This one's a category, this one's sky, this one's, you know, there's a whole terrain, see? Terrain dimlet. So what we could do is I could run around later, obviously between episodes, find 256 skystone and get a dimlet, or make a dimlet from that. Luckily we had one sponge. So dimlet absorbers, or should I say block absorbers, are literally made. So block absorber, we'll go absorber. These are all easy to do. It's just a block of slime, so 9 slime balls. Dimensional shards we've got quite a few of, but it was the sponge. The sponge is difficult to get. I couldn't find it. I found one sponge. So yeah, we've only got one block absorber, so we've got to use it wisely. So I'm going to put it in there so that I don't accidentally put it down, because if I put it down, it'll start absorbing. Right, so this thing here is also from RF Tools. And not the dimension stuff, but it's RF Tools basic. But this is travel. So you've got a matter transmitter. So if I go over to here and show you the matter transmitter, as you can see, it's a machine frame, which we'll get to in a moment, but the rest of it is a very low cost. A few ender pearls, some iron, and some redstone. Then you've got a matter receiver, which is pretty much the other way up. Then you've got something called a charged porter, or a charged porter. Now this is also relatively straightforward, so early game, pretty good. However, this thing is insanely powerful. What you can do is you can shift right click and set the destination for where you get to teleport. I know, and just as long as you've got power, you can teleport. And then obviously the upgraded version of this allows you to save more destinations, right? So there's the dialing device. So if you want to put this next to one of these, you can see all of the different dimensions. So it works like the Waystone, but with power cost rather than XP cost. So if we go over to here, for instance, and where are we? So up here, it works exactly the same way. You know, you basically click this, you can see that depending on the dimension, depending on where it is, you've got an XP cost associated with that, whereas that one is just power. Now, if we go, like I said, if we go over here, and you have a look around the back here, we've got this thing, right, which is a player transmitter, a spirited player transmitter, which is bound to a dimensional card. Now, we did this pretty early on, but that means that any dimension I'm in, I get power, and it charges my inventory, which is perfect, because this thing uses energy. But I don't have to keep charging it, because it's in my inventory, it will charge itself. So if we shift and right click, we can see that we've got home dimension, we've got no other targets set. So I can click on clear, I can click on set, and I can set these different targets, right? Now I accidentally right clicked, so yeah, I kind of gave the game away. But if we go up here, here we are. Now if I right click, I instantly go back to here. Now I set it to here, so if I shift and right click and set my home dimension to this section, if I walk over here and then right click, I will bounce back to where I've set it. So if I shift right click the bottom, or there, I will jump. Hang on, maybe it isn't. It's shift right click and then, oh hang on. Ugh. Well, I've bound it to here, so, and I can't remember how I bound it, but yeah, we bound it. So I will always come back to here. But with the other charged porter, it's like a, in fact, actually, let's make one, because that one you can actually sneak right click on the ground. So let's have a look. Charged porter. So we'll go for the single version, which is very, very simple. As you can see, this will literally, so if I right click now, nothing. However, if I shift right click and then right click, is it shift right click? Or maybe it's just right click. Or I'm sure it's shift right click, right? Maybe not. Sneak right click on a receiver. Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, it has to be a receiver. Sorry, my bad. So I've shift right click on this one and it will jump me to this one. Now I've already done that for the advanced charge porter, but I am going to do it for this porter because this is going to be my backup. So there you go, right click, boom, back. Now that's going to be my backup. That's going in there. So if I ever lose the other one, I've got one to get home with, which is going to be perfect for other bits and pieces. So I've built a couple of these. I've got a couple of, oh, actually I need another couple of points. Just to make trebly sure that I've got enough power and stuff. So there we go. So yeah, I've made a couple of these and a couple of these. Now obviously we can receive power anywhere, so we're okay with power. So this makes a lot more sense and it's a bit cheaper for us as well. No XP means I can just jump around. If I'm falling to my death, I can just right click this thing and just jump home and save myself from dying and, you know, a whole bunch of stuff. So what we've been doing is collecting these dimlets. Obviously when you kill Enderman, you get a dimlet. And the dimlets go into the system. They go in here. So if I go RF tools, as you can see, every time, because we're still killing stuff, we're still getting stuff. So I'm going to put all that in there. Now you've got this thing's called knowledge, right? And it helps to create dimlets. Now obviously we'll get into this in a bit more involved once we do that. But we've got something called a knowledge holder, which we are going to chuck down here. Now they come with these like little open manuals and that kind of stuff, which is quite cool. So the knowledge holder is a big storage item that can only hold knowledge. Set this block adjacent to a dimlet workbench so that you can create dimlets that correspond to the knowledge that you have discovered. Now I think we need the knowledge discover. We need to discover the knowledge. So right there we've got tile and devices there. So we've got the knowledge holder. We need a dimlet workbench. So machine frames are really cheap. So I'm going to get a few of those. But yeah, machine frames are very, very cheap. And all of the RF machines use that. So we need empty dimlets. So we'll get a couple of those. And then we need a couple of crafting tables. You know what, let's just 25 that. We'll put one of these on this side. There we go. Right, so this is a dimlet workbench. So we work basically with the dimlets. So like all of these dimlets can go into here and you can create different bits and pieces and it creates different worlds, right? So if we open up this, these are really quite good. So the dimlet workbench is the main tool, create dimlets, blah, blah, blah. Knowledge holder, you will need knowledge to be able to make dimlets, right? So if we put knowledge in there, we can store all our knowledge in there. I'm not sure whether we can store dimlets in there, actually. Can we store dimlets? No, we can't store dimlets in there, but we can store knowledge, right? So that's cool. So we've got that now. We need an inscriber. We need a dimension editor. We need an empty dimension tab. And we need a dimension builder. Now, dimension builders need power. Well, all of these need power, but yeah. Researcher, there we go. We do need a researcher. The device can research various things in order to get knowledge. Okay, that sounds like a plan. So let's get one of them. Right, so do we have everything? No, we don't, but we will now. Right, so we've got the researcher, so we'll work on that one in a moment. We need some empty dimlets, because we need to get one of those inscribers. Empty dimlets. Right, so this is a dimension editor, which we definitely will need at some point, and a dimension builder, which we're going to do as well. As you can see, most of these are not actually that expensive recipes. So we could have, in theory, done this a lot earlier. So the researcher I'm going to place here, the inscriber I'm going to be putting there, the dimension builder and the editor. I think we'll go with the editor first and then the builder. And then that way we can build stuff. Research, right, okay, so if I put rare in here, yeah, there we go. So we can research these. We can also infuse them, right? So RF Tools has something called an infuser. A machine infuser, which we are going to get because it speeds things up, right? So with dimensional shards, so if we take some dimension, we've got plenty of dimensional shards, so we should be good with this. But if we whack that one down there, what we can do is we can take one of these machines. So that one is rare lost knowledge. Okay, there we go. No, rare lost knowledge. Pattern rare block. Pattern unknown. Right, so we need to research them. But what we could do is we can pick one of these up, right? We can put it over here and put it into the machine, and then we can put dimensional shards on it. And as you can see it gets infused, right? So infusing bonus is reduced power consumption and faster processing. So that makes quite a lot of sense. You just keep feeding them dimensional shards until this thing basically stops eating them, and then it will be fully infused and fully good to go. So obviously the higher the percentage, the more these things are going to, run. What I am going to do is just, quickly, because I don't want to keep having to sort this stuff out, or should I say keep putting in, dimensional shards in. So what I am going to do is just going to run a cable with an exporter. So boom, boom, boom. We're going to go up, and then I need an exporter. There we go. And then a couple of acceleration cards, 4 acceleration cards. Right, because there's only one output, we might as well just leave the acceleration cards. We'll stick them in there and put that in there, and then that should now, there we go, right, that keeps that up to date. So if we put this back, now that thing should just keep topping itself up and we should be all good. Now I won't have to. Right, so this is at 73, so we're going to wait for this one to completely finish, but essentially what we're going to do is hook up the ME so that it will import and export all of the different bits and pieces. Right, one doorbell later, and that one's finished. So we'll shove that one back down in there, and we'll see how fast that is now. So we're going to need to do the knowledge, obviously. That is much quicker, actually. Okay, let's start off at 50%. Really? Okay, so this can be that's unconstructed monument. Right, so I don't know how many things there are, but I'm sure that you can do common into, is it common? You can translate these. Ah, there we are, 9 into 1, and then 9 into 1, and then 9 into 1, and then legendary. Right, okay, so if we take these, let's see how many common ones we can sort of get out of here. So uncommon, we've got 1 common, so I'm going to leave that in there. So we've got uncommon here, which gives us that. Doesn't give us enough, but at the same time we can do these ones. These ones will look a bit better, we'll assume. I don't know actually, but that's a rare block. Mining, digging, claws. Can we put that in there? I can put it in there, but I'm going to put it here because that's where the knowledge goes. So essentially when this is done, we need to put the knowledge in there. So that's rare block, mineable, diggable, claws. Right, okay, so that came out the same. Is it a random chance? Rare block, digging, claws. No, I don't want digging claws again. What if I take it out and put it back in? Will that give me a different one? I don't know. I'll take one of those away. Oh, that was the one that was researching. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of this, so I'll probably automate this part of the process. Mining diggable claws. What the hell? I suppose because they stacked, didn't they? They're probably all the same. We'll try it again. What about so dimlet? No, it's knowledge, isn't it? Knowledge. Common maybe, uncommon, lost. That's a monument, so we can put that. That one's been researched, so we can put the monument in there. That one's now been researched. Oh, right, village desert. Okay, so it does randomly do some stuff. But as you can see, you can build up all of the little different pieces to build your own worlds. And obviously once we've got enough skystone, common block, mineable, diggable, right, common block. Okay, so it says a common block. What's the other ones? Rare blocks, uncommon structure, monument. Right, okay. So yeah, you can build up all these into... Ah, there we go. Right, so we've got the knowledge in here. This is what it's allowed us to have. Ah, gotcha. Okay. So we can create dimlets from here then. Oh, that's cool. What's this one? I don't know what that is, but we'll what is it? It's RF tools dimensions. So these things here. Okay, common dimension essence. I don't know how to make that. Legendary dimensional essence. Phased field generator. Temporary applicable visiting unpowered dimensions. Dimension monitor. Fluid absorb biome structure. Dimensional pattern blocks. Okay, I don't know what these common dimensional essences are. I'm assuming we get them when we're in there. I don't know. This has changed since the last time I've used it. However, look at that. Skystone. Skystone brick, small blocks, skystone blocks. So here already we could make our... Because we found it. And we use dimensional shards. Obviously that one there was just dimensional shards. Applied energistics. So if we make that, create. Oh no, I need a dimlet, right? Do I need an empty dimlet? Or do I need one of them? Oh right, okay. So as you can see, to make that, I need to use this dimlet and then inscribe it. Yeah, that's fine. Block dimlets are modified to change the blocks which are used in the terrain or features. Place them in front of the terrain or feature dimlet. Okay. Cost. Right, so... one... Right, so we need one... let me mass over that again. Right, so we need that F, which we'll have a look at in a moment, and we need the first pattern thingy there. 4 of those and 1 full block absorber. So we need this one. Okay, that's easy to make, and I've got these already in the recipes. That's easy to make. This, obviously, the block absorber, we need to get a full block absorber. So we need one for skystone, so we need to go find some skystone, really. That's kind of cool, though. Alright, so basically, what happens is the Endermen are the ones that drop these dimlets and the knowledge and that kind of stuff, right? As you can see, the Endermen are getting killed over here pretty well. So if we go stand over here, in fact, actually, how much? Oh, we've got tons. So let's grab a load of that. We'll stand over here and watch, you know, fill this up a little bit. So the Endermen basically die. They give us the knowledge or the RF tools stuff. And we can then grab it from here. So biome category, Tegra. Oh, okay. So we've got the different biomes that we can put in place and we can do all that kind of stuff. Now, the other thing that we can do is obviously we can get home now, we can travel, we can do pretty much what we want. So that's kind of cool. What would be nice this episode is to get some of the other stuff ready. The RF tools stuff, that's going to take a little bit of time, so I will do that off of camera. This thing is working super well. I mean, it's working really, really well. It would be nice to automate the XP stuff, but I can't find a way to automate this at the moment, so I'll look into that at some point. But right now, I mean, it's not a hardship just standing here and then, you know, draining my XP. So what we've done is created a whole bunch of these. I've put all of this stuff into the system now, so I'm just going to get rid of it. There. don't need that. Right, so like I said, we've got all of this kind of stuff. We can go and run around and do some stuff. That would be quite cool. I think this episode has been, setting this kind of stuff up, which is fine. I think what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to run around. I'm going to try to find some skystone. I'm also going to try and, obviously boost this a little bit so that we can get a bit more dimlets, hence the reason why I'm standing on this thing, so that we can actually get that sorted as well. Obviously, the more knowledge in that we got, the better places we can go and the more things that we can explore. But I think skystone is definitely a priority. Yeah, and that requires running around. However, we do need the wither. I want an angel ring. So I think the next thing, as much as this is important, I think the next thing is wither. So we're going to build it in containment. So we are going to build it in one of these. So one of the compact machines, we're going to build it in there. But that will be the next project. So I know this is a bit of a slow episode, a bit of a boring one really, but it's just setting up quite a lot of different things. So next time we're going to do the wither, then we're going to, hopefully I'll, between that, get everything that I need for that project. Then we'll go out, try and get some skystone, and yeah. So that will be, the next one will be the wither, and then after that we'll try and get some other bits and pieces. That sounds like a plan. Like I said, thank you very much for watching. I know this has been a slow episode, but hopefully we'll get some more exciting ones very shortly. Especially the wither. Wither's going to be great. Getting an angel ring. Oh, that's going to be cool. Anyway, I've been Syntosis. You've been awesome. Laters.